You know, I never ever get tired of that little intro there. I don't know what it is, it's something I never get tired of, being a rabid GX4000 fan. But here it is, the game that everyone had on the GX4000 and the Plus machines, Burnin Rubber, designed obviously to showcase the custom chips of the systems. And this is my first NRG re-recording. This is probably one of the first NRGs I ever recorded way back when I first started the channel. But I thought it deserved a bit of re-recording because I've kind of polished my act up since then. I wasn't gruffling into a very cracky, old, shitty microphone. Now I've got a proper microphone and I don't talk as nearly as bad, even though it's still pretty poor. But the game isn't poor. And here we are, prepare to qualify, don't you know, sir? So, Burnin Rubber, if you didn't know, if you've been living under a rock in the Amstrad community, or in the 8-bit community in general, was the showcase game for the GX4000 console and the Amstrad Plus machines. It's developed by Ocean, and it's basically a recoding, rework of Wet Clermont, which came out pretty much about a year before this did, I believe, on disc and tape. That was done in sort of monochromic style, but it played very, very well. And here it is in full luscious plus palette colours as such, but I think it's been recoded and reworked enough to be its own game, which I believe it firmly is, and a lot of people also believe it firmly is. The idea is a 24-hour race. There's 5 laps to complete of this ginormous mountain backdropped track. Here is the qualifying run. Very difficult to get pole position in this. I've got 4th once. Never got pole position. I know the theory. You've got to try and tailgate these guys. See if I... No, I managed to get 5th, haven't I? Yeah. I've got 4th once upon a time. There is a way to get pole. You can basically use the slipstream of the other racers. Some very tight angles. Never take your finger off the accelerator. Burn rubber, essentially. But it's very, very tricky to do. Here we are with the main race, lap 1. Now, a lot have been said about Burnin Rubber over the years. I'm going to touch on a few of those points, but then add a few points of my own that I really do like about it. I like the little subtle advert for Special Criminal Investigation there at the side of the road on the street furniture. Loads of street furniture in this game, which is something I really do appreciate. In some Amstrad games, racing games especially if you look at something like Crazy Cars 2 on the GX4000, which is basically a clone of the original CPC version, the street furniture is lacking somewhat. But you do get a lot of street furniture on this, which is really good. A bit like you do in Chase XQ, to be fair. And it's very well defined as well, and excellently scaled. One thing you can't knock this game for is its graphic appeal. It looks fantastic for an 8-bit. It really does look, and it moves really smooth as well. I think it moves smooth. The undulation is really nice. The background's kind of nice, smooth scroll in there. Lots of different shading effects and lovely sky backdrop. Looks really good in the mist. Yeah, and the colours are very bold, very bright. They work well together. And then you've got this, what's happening now, the awesome sunset, which is gradually happening as you race along, and you go through the apocalypto stage of the sunset, where it gets all dark, and then where it starts to get dark, and then of course the lights come on of the car, and it gets really dark, and it bounces off the thing. Ooh, nearly. And then it comes light again with this lovely purple sort of sunrise, and I love it. It's really, I love the graphics on this. It's beautiful looking. It's unfortunate that the gameplay doesn't match up to the graphics, and when I say that with the gritted teeth, because you really do want to love this game. I always did. I really did want to love it, and I do like it a lot. I mean, it's probably one of my favourite games, even though it is nails bollock hard. Because the AI on the competitive racers, they love to cut you up a lot, and you crash more than once or twice, I think, in the main game, and you're not going to complete it. That's it. You crash probably twice, you're done. You might be able to squeak it if you have. 3 times, you're done. You're not a chance. So you've got to be very, very careful of that. But yeah, it's the handling that lets it down. It really is just the handling that lets it down. The responsiveness, the feedback from the controller. GX4000's not so great controller. It wasn't the worst, I always say, but certainly wasn't great. It just seems to take that that half a second too late to respond, and you need quite a quick response. I'm going to crash here. Yeah, lovely, spectacular crash. I mean, people sort of laugh about the crash being sort of lacking in frame rate there, but I think that's an amazing crash sequence, hilarious. Would absolutely destroy your racing Porsche. But anyway, it's a little bit of a comic aside. Yeah, it's just the sensory feedback. The responsiveness is not great. It's not good. So you've got to anticipate a lot in this game, and sort of like see the future if you want. It takes a lot of practice to do. You can work it out. It does work eventually, but it hasn't got that sort of instantaneous touch controls. And that's the only thing really for me that lets it down. I think the sound effects are rather great. I mean, you've got DMA sound there, used for the squealing of the tyres. You've got hard sprite. The car is a hard sprite. I think the shadow under the car is a hard sprite also. You've got lots of effects going on. You haven't got everything going on. You haven't got the hard scrolling going on. Certainly, I don't think you've got using. I don't think it's using split rasters either, or any raster effects. Probably not. I think it might be doing that on the title screen. Because the letters that scroll across on the title screen, that iconic title screen that it is, they're hard sprites as well. And it's got fantastic music to it. I think the theme music to it is really, really good. I think the end music is excellent as well, and especially the theme when you're putting your name in on the leaderboard at the end. That's a really underrated piece of music that I really, really do like. So it's got everything going. It's got the sound for me. It's got the graphics for me. It's certainly got the visual appeal. Oh, right into the back of someone who just completely conked out in front of me. How inconsiderate. But then again, you get to look at my lovely headlights. It's just, unfortunately, if it was just a tad more responsive, maybe a touch faster in places, doesn't appear to slow down. Not anything significant anyway. Just a little bit more responsive. It needs to be less sluggish for a racing game. Racing games should not be sluggish ever. It's very noticeable when they are, unfortunately. But for everything else, I think it's absolutely top draw. I love the typical mown lawn effect on the side there to give the more enhanced sensation of speed. And you've still got I love the way the shadows and the colours are changing on the side of the road. You've got the two faces there, which I believe are the Darling brothers. The images, I think they're the images of the Darling brothers on the side of the road. They're the Ocean logo, the Amstrad logo. You want to bounce off a tyre for good luck sometimes. That's always a good one when you do that. Lovely little piece of luck. Little acid face there. Acid! Yeah, taking you right back to the 90s, that is, with little acid faces. Street lamps. The tunnels are really good as well. Of course, you've got the sparks in the tunnels, sparks when you come off other cars as well. So, like I say, graphically, I think it's really impressive. And it's implemented very well. The whole thing is implemented very well. Just a little bit more care on the code when it comes to controls, I think would have sent it a long way, and it would have been an absolute cracker of a game. And it's still pretty good as it is. Maybe a few more plus features could have been used to good effect, and maybe a few more flashy features here and there. But I think it was a good first effort, I really do, and it's something that all the developers for the Plus machines and the GX4000 could have built on. They could see potential in this lovely shade of purple we've gone now. They could see potential, and it had to, it had to demonstrate that potential, and I think it does. But alas, that didn't happen, did it? But we're still left with Burnin Rubber, and for what it is, I still love it. It's still one of those Amstrad classic games, and I still love it. So thanks for watching this re-upload of Burnin Rubber. Novabug out.